Yeah, man, they got to play at this every single game. Like games like this, we need to see from the Chicago Bulls. When they start having these close games at halftime, close games in the third and fourth quarter, that's when the Bulls get in trouble, man. So if we can see more games like this from the Bulls, it may not necessarily be 29 point lead, but something like 15, 20. We start seeing games like that to where they're blowing teams away. It could be a beautiful thing to see. As we go into the third quarter, if we look at this, they still kept the lead, 27 points. So, long as we keep seeing games like this from the Bulls, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. It's just that it got to be all the time, man. The top three guys, one of them has to take over a game as far as defensively. One of them has to take on the mantle of being that two-way player that teams pay attention to, that you can pretty much defend and make their best player have a bad game or not a good game. It got to be Zach DeMar Vooch. One of them has to take the responsibility of taking and making sure that other guy's best player is having a bad game or make him non-existent in that game, make him a non-fucking factor.
Yeah, man, it starts with those three, man. But the player in this game, man, was on Patrick Williams. But the final score, before we get to Patrick Williams, the final score 144 to 115. This is in regulation. No overtime, no nothing. So the Bulls did their job. But G Walker, what you think about this score, man?
The score was good, man. The score was was more than I thought it'd be. Dallas, they're not really necessarily a defensive team. So, but their main guy, Luka, the franchise player, the MVP candidate, was not there. So they were a little bit not as good as they are or they have been. But hey, you got to play who's on the court. You know what I mean? So the fact that they actually took this personal and 144 to 115, I love it. Destroy them no matter what.
Exactly, man. But if you look at Patrick Williams' stats, I mean, 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from the three. That is a season high. I think that's also a career high for Patrick Williams. He also had 2 blocks. So this is what Patrick Williams is capable of. So this kid is only 21 years old. He still has a lot of time to grow. So we just as Bulls fans got to be patient with this kid, but he definitely has a high ceiling as far as potential.
Hey, you know what? And I totally agree with everything you just said, man. He's growing, but he's not growing to what people thought he would be. I've been watching the last 5 games with Patrick Williams. I think he's averaging like 11 and a half points, a steal, and 2 blocks a game. And he's shooting. He has his shooting percentage is like 62%, if I'm correct. So he's developing. It's just that the team is not built around his strengths. So he's doing probably the most he could do being the fourth option. You know what I mean? And I really can't complain. But what we're going to do right now is get into our next video, which is the Bulls versus the Hawks, which was a crazy game. The ending was crazy. I'm not going to talk no more about it. I'm going to just play the videos. Let's go.
That was a three, and you thinking that okay, the Bulls they got three throws coming up. This game is over, right? Well, how you gonna see the ball? How you gonna see where the ball is going? It's impossible for you to even see that, man. So the fact that happened is heartbreaking. The Bulls defender had his head turned, didn't see the ball coming in, didn't know where the ball was until they threw it up and it was too late. And that's the final result.
Yeah, that was a terrible play, man. Billy Donovan got a lot of scrutiny for that play. Why Vooch wasn't down there at the end of the game. They paid Billy Donovan, man. He's under the microscope for losing close games, but they paid him. He's under the microscope for his substitutions, his adjustments. Like, it's all not add up right. But let's see what the players had to say on these overlays. And this is just talking about how much, the Bulls are playing Zach LaVine, and this is from Sam Smith. He says, as much as I rail against it, maybe DeRozan needs playing time cuts. He's a trooper, wanting to play all the time and never taking off. That's because DeMar is who he is, but we're not losing games necessarily because DeMar is playing too much. But this is what he had to say about missing that shot. CJ, what you think about this, man? He said, I had a coach tell me that the clock hit 0-0. It ain't over. They made a hell of a play. Just one of those games, you shake their hand, they got it. Is he right or wrong, CJ?
I would say he's wrong on this one. And the reason why I would say he's wrong on this one is because It was simple. Derrick Jones Jr. What was the X factor of them losing that because he had his head turned the whole time. All the other players were watching the ball. If you look at that play, Derrick Jones Jr. was the only one who had his head turned away. So that was what they saw, and they went right to it.
And we just gonna go into the next overlay. Some of the fortunes of DeMar throwing a shot in like he did last year. Some of those 39, 40-point performances. Karen, it's hard to live like that. And that's coming from the coach. It is hard to live like that, Billy Donovan. What are you going to do to develop other guys in your team so you're not using DeMar so damn much? What are you going to do? We have guys in the G League like Marco and Terry to take some pressure off of DeMar as far as ball handling or rebounding or whatever. What do you think about this quote from Billy Donovan, man?
We heard it from Sam Smith. We hearing it from Billy Donovan. And we've been saying it, G Walker. We've been saying it that this guy right here, they're gonna have to eventually move him. They may have to include Kobe White in a trade with him because the way this is going, there is two different offenses out there, and we have seen that when the Bulls spread the floor and run the floor, they are a better team. It's just the fact that DeMar DeRozan don't run the floor and do the things that the Bulls can do because he's not a good three-point shooter. So that's why I feel like at some point they're going to have to move him to get a guy like a Bogdanovich or someone that can spread the floor and shoot out there.
I feel you, man. So where we going next? You want to get into some more overlays that you got up in here? We can before we get to the Knicks game. If you want to, bro. If not, I can get it to Knicks, but take your time, bro. Go ahead. Do what you.
Yeah, man. Actually, bro, let's go ahead and let's get into those New York Knicks, man. I think we pretty much seen what we seen from this game. It's we don't have to keep going into it. So let's go into the Knicks.
All right, 1 second. Let me pull that up for the fans, man. Hold on. Now, this was another game that was a winnable game. We had to come back. We down 42-31, 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. What do you think about this Knicks game right here, man, if you watched it?
I watched this game as well, and the fact that the Bulls were down pretty much this entire game until the third quarter. But the Knicks, man, Thibodeau is a good defensive coach. He's always has been that. With this Knicks teams, they've won 4 in a row. And a lot of that has come with their defense. Patrick Williams, that's a nice slam right there by him. But the Bulls had to do a lot of fighting to get easy buckets, and they had to do. They also had to make tough shots. So I mean, when you play against Thibodeau, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, man, that Knicks team and the 6th seed right now, early in the season. So you're gonna have to fight, man. And the Bulls were fighting. Good pass by Patrick Williams right there. As you can see, he passes the ball. He's a willing passer. He has a high IQ to get the guy the ball when they need it. It's just that the team is not really made. Here comes Kobe down the lane. Let's see what he does. Oh, nice dunk by Javonte Green.
Yeah, man. Like we've been saying, when the Bulls run up and down the floor and get easy baskets, they're a tough team to beat. But they have to stick with that formula. Offensively, defensively, it's like they have a lot of guys that do a lot of switching.
Nice jam by Jones.
That was a nice slam by Jones, but they have a lot of guys that do a lot of switching, and I think the switching part of the defense has hurt them this year when they have bad matchups.
And you're right, man. And we just see the Bulls are fighting, man. Caruso had put somebody on the ground with his crossover. DeMar just went into the lane. Zach just going in for a layup. We down 2 with 32 seconds left. And look at this. Patrick Williams again. Everywhere, bro. With the block, we come down. DeMar with the layup. Bulls tie the game. Overtime. Let's go.
Yeah, man, this overtime, I really thought the Bulls was definitely going to try to pull this one out. I thought they played hard, they fought hard, but again, man, I thought defensively, they got into some bad matchups with the Knicks. They put them in some bad spots. And at some point they just couldn't get it. So as we going through the overlays, first quarter, as y'all see, the Bulls were down in the first quarter. As we go into the next overlay, which at halftime, the Bulls were down at halftime. So again, at this point into the third quarter, this is when they took the lead. This is when Patrick Williams made the pass to Javonte Green with the slam, and they took the lead. That was the first lead they had in the game. That was the first lead. So think about it. That's in the third quarter. But at the end of the third quarter, the Knicks are up again. As you saw, they went into overtime. Now going into this was actually 117 to 117. Now they're going into overtime, and then the Bulls end up losing this game 128 to 120. G Walker, what's your thoughts, man?
It's the same old thing over and over again, man. Either we got to fight hard to win, or we might blow a team out, or we lose by one, or we win by two. We're all over the place, man. We don't have an identity, and we don't have a top three-way player, but we have three all-stars on our team. And it's not all on them. You know what I mean? Our benches have to be utilized better. The point guard situation has to be better. The way we score points has to be better. Because in this game, Billy Donovan, he kept putting Caruso on Randall. There was a point in the time in the game where it was crucial where he benched Patrick Williams. And guess what happened? The Knicks went on a run. He keeps doing the same things, man, the same things. So this is the result. But there's one more thing I want to get into before we get out of here. CJ brought it up earlier. It was about trading DeMar. So this is something that was proposed by some guy named Aaron Pickens, but it's been going around the NBA. It's been going around in groups about trading DeMar and Vooch for Russ and 2 first picks with the Lakers. CJ, what you think about this trade package if it happens?
I'm gonna say I'm against it, and the only reason why I'm against it is because you're giving up Vooch. I think Vooch is still a good enough player where he can play on the Bulls if you have a Patrick Williams, a Zach LaVine, and a Russell Westbrook. Now, if you try to get Russell Westbrook, I would try to maybe package maybe some other players, as far as like a Kobe White, a Derrick Jones Jr. Package some of those younger players to get guys like Dalen Terry some minutes. To give other players who are on that bench some minutes. But trading away Vooch, I'm against that one. Now, if it's for Anthony Davis, that could be a different story.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. I don't want to give up Vooch as much as I wouldn't mind giving up DeMar. DeMar at this point in his career, he's not really helping guys develop as much as he can is because the type of person that he is and the playing style he is. We have too much on offense. We have to do some substitution, addition by subtraction, and I think that subtraction is DeMar. I'd rather see Patrick Williams be at 3. I'd rather see Caruso with the ball a little bit more, George with the ball a little bit more, Zach with the ball, because Zach can play point. We've seen Zach have 9, 10 assists, 13 assists, 7 assists. So it's not like we can't use Zach as a point guard. So the guy that we probably need to get rid of, unfortunately, is DeMar DeRozan for the better of the team. I don't want to get rid of Vooch, but hey, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you, man. And the thing is, I know y'all like, well, why y'all want to get rid of DeMar? He's doing so much. But what has that pretty much done for the Chicago Bulls? He had them 39, 40-point games, and yeah, they won some close games, but this is a whole new season. People have already seen this. So now teams are going to start making adjustments. If we've seen DeMar DeRozan have costly turnovers, he's forced up a lot of bad shots during this last game against the Knicks. So all that hero ball, that's gonna stop real soon. Then then the Bulls are really gonna be in trouble. So the reason why we keep saying DeMar DeRozan's name is because we notice when he has the ball, everybody stands around. Because they expect for him to shoot the ball. The Bulls are a much better team when they have a motion offense. When Vooch touches the ball, Zach, Patrick, when all the guys touch the ball that's on the floor, the offense runs better when it goes that way.
And you know what? And I totally agree, man. Like, guys are not being drafted to stand around on the perimeter watching DeMar play. We want to see guys what they were drafted for, what their strengths are that they were drafted for, and we don't see that all the time. So, and this is something that's going to be going on until the trade deadline or DeMar end of the season when he doesn't get picked up for his contract. Because I don't know if he's up for a contract. Is he up for a contract extension?
Vucevic, I'm surprised they didn't mention anything about his contract because he's
which they didn't offer.
correct, which they didn't offer. So I'm surprised about that. But DeMar DeRozan, I believe, has this year and next year on his contract still.
Okay. If CJ doesn't have anything else to talk about, that's going to be it for us today, and we'll be back with you guys either this week or next week with another episode. This was fun, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Like the video, comment, share the video, do what you like to do with this, please. If that's it for CJ, got anything else for the people?
That's it for me, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And we'll catch you during the next episode.
Peace.